So it is Christmas, my favorite time of the year. It's the season to wish one another joy, love, and peace. It is also a time to reflect on all the blessings God has bestowed upon us. Let us begin the show by reflecting on the message of Christmas. Please join me in welcoming Tim Schindel, leadership coach, to the studio. Thank you for being here, Tim.
Thanks for having me, Molly. A delight to be with you today.
All right, so it is Christmas.
It is.
All right, so tomorrow is Christmas Eve. And Jesus came 2,000 years ago.
Yes.
Long, long, long time ago. How is that message of Christmas still relevant today?
That's an excellent question, and I was thinking about this since you invited me to come, and just what we would talk about, how we would frame this. And I'm watching world events, and I'm watching, in some ways, what feel like very dark days coming upon us, very complicated days, and I, as I look at people around me, I think there's one thing that I see people needing more than anything else, which is hope. And when I think of Christmas, I think more than anything of hope. And it's fun to give gifts, it's fun to get gifts, it's fun to do all the family stuff. But at the end of the day, this season is about hope. And here's why I think so. Because when I look at the day in which Jesus came, the people that he came to were not unlike the people that like us today, not unlike us today, in the sense that great despair, great heaviness, great concern about the world around them and their own plight and all of those things. And our world, parallels that with violence and crisis and just the fear that exists in the people in the world around us, and the oppression that the people fear or people are experiencing. And so Jesus came first to bring help to the hopeless, right? To bring a new day for those people. So the first is help, right? Is the first thing that I think of it. The second thing that I think of when I think of hope is opportunity, because Jesus is far more than just this baby in a manger. That he's far more than just this person who lived a long time ago and then he died and that was the end. But because we know that when he died with a purpose to pay the price for our sins, and then he rose again from the dead, so that we would have this opportunity to experience him personally.
Okay, now a lot of our viewers don't quite understand.
Sure.
What does it mean to experience him personally? What does that mean?
Well, that's a very good question. You jumped ahead of me because my E was experience, but it's all right. We'll go, because there are people who view Jesus or view Christianity as just a way of thinking about things, or a philosophy, or an ideology,
or even a religion.
Perish the thought, right? But Jesus came for us to experience him personally, so we can have this personal relationship with him. So I don't have to be connected to him from a distance or far way off, or something that my parents knew or my grandparents knew or the person down the street knows. But he's a person, just as real as Molly or as real as Tim, who wants to be experienced, who came so that he could be experienced.
That's a very difficult thought for someone who has never really been exposed to this kind of thinking.
Sure.
Because how do people have an experience with God? Because Jesus is God.
Yes.
And how do we mortal human beings have a relationship with Jesus? How is that even possible?
It's a good question. How is that possible? Because it seems so out of the box and so mysterious. And in some ways, it is very mysterious. In other ways, it's very tangible, and it's very real. I have a young friend who is autistic, and he was talking with his parents one day about faith and religion, and he said to his parents, "I believe in Christianity because I feel it in my heart." And I thought, what a wonderful thing that we have this opportunity to connect with the living God through a personal relationship, that we experience all of the emotions, all of the highs, all of the lows, all of the intimacy that comes from having a close personal friend. And so how do we enter that relationship? Well, we begin by understanding that he wants a relationship with us. Number two, we invite him into a relationship with us, as simply as saying, Jesus, please come into my life. Right? And we begin this journey of having a personal relationship with him. And how do I have that relationship with him? The same way I have a relationship with you. We talk, we visit, we connect, right? If you send me an email, I want to open that email and see what you said. Jesus gave us something like email, but better in his word. And so he gives us this opportunity to hear what he has to say, reading what he has to say, and then we have the opportunity to dialogue and talk with him through prayer, both talk and listen.
Is that why most Christians, when you overhear the conversations, it invariably goes something like this: I said this to God.
Yes.
And God said this to me.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
Isn't that incredible?
It is amazing. And I mean, to the outsider, it sounds like we're very unusual, right?
Yes.
So I said this to God. And I guess on the one hand, people say things to God all the time.
Yeah.
But to hear God say something to us,
that's even more awesome.
What an amazing thing.
Yeah.
What an amazing thing. And the wonderful thing is that God is always speaking. And as long as we're able to quiet ourselves and give him an opportunity to be heard, he'll bring life to us through this relationship that we have.
Yes. We started this conversation by you mentioning hope. The message of Christmas is hope. And I think this is a really important thing to talk a little bit more about. Reason being, because this world is becoming progressively crazy.
Hopeless. Progressively hopeless?
Yes, and people are feeling hopelessness, and they're feeling a sense of despair. And so how do we bring the message of hope in this hopeless world full of despair and fear and anxiety?
Well, I suppose there's many ways that we could do that. We can have TV shows, we can do public events, we can preach, and many do. And all of those things are good, and all of those things have their place. But honestly, I believe that the best way that I can bring the message of hope to the world around me is just to live as a person of hope. Just living as a person of hope. I read this in my Bible reading yesterday, and again this morning actually, out of Isaiah 43, where God is speaking through the prophet, and he says, "Behold, I am doing a new thing.
Yes.
Do you not perceive it? Do you not see it?" And then in the devotional that came along with that passage for me, the writer was talking, and he said, so much of it just depends on us expecting something good will happen. And this 2017 has been a difficult, challenging year. There have been good things in this year, but there have been, in terms of world events, very challenging things, very disturbing things, things that are very upsetting and troubling. Maybe more so than ever before.
Yes.
And I look at that and it's like, well, okay, I can be afraid and I can be fearful of what comes tomorrow, or I can expect that God is doing a new thing, that God is about to start something new, that God is about to launch something fresh. Even with you and I. So we've just met not too long ago, and just in the last few weeks, and one morning I woke up and I just knew I was having lunch with Jay and Molly. That's all I knew. And out of that opportunity, that morning, I read about God doing this new thing. And 2 weeks later, here I am expecting that God is going to do something new, and here we are doing your show together, and I'm thrilled to be a guest here. But as we live as a person of hope, we stand out from the world around us, right? Because the world is overcome by fear. And when we live as people of hope, we bring that hope to other people. People are attracted because it sets us apart from the rest of the world.
Yes, because Jesus says, "Fear not."
Exactly.
For I'm with you.
Exactly.
And I will always be with you.
What a wonderful promise. And because he's with us, we can have hope for tomorrow.
That's right. So if there's somebody who's watching this program and they're feeling hopeless, it could be maybe because of financial situation, could be maybe loss of a loved one, or it could be any number of reasons, maybe sickness. What would you like to tell them?
I'd like to say this. I'd like to say that Jesus knows you. He knows your situation. He knows your world. He knows every detail that you're living with today, every part of your stress, every part of your fear, maybe every part of your despair. And on this day, right before Christmas, when everybody is supposed to be happy and we're all supposed to be excited, maybe you are anything but, and this is a dark, difficult day for you. To you, I'd say Jesus came to bring you hope. And if you could stop for just a moment and take it, just kind of hit the pause button and invite him in to your world and into your life, you'll experience hope. Just invite him to come in and say, Jesus, please come and bring me hope. Hit my reset button, give me a new start on this day. And he'll change everything.
Wow, that's a great message. So if you are one of those people who is feeling hopeless right now, you don't have to. Just like Tim said, you can ask Jesus for help and he will help you. He is here to help everyone. He said, I have come that you may have life and that you may have it abundantly. So you don't have to be in despair, you don't have to be hopeless. And if you don't know anyone, reach out to us. Call us, 647-979-3220. And there are lots and lots of people who are here for you. Thank you so much for being here, Tim.
Thank you so much for
Merry
having me.
Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you.